A little earlier this morning, we were joined by Paul Manafort. He's the chairman of the Trump campaign, and we began by asking him about that 60 Minutes interview last night and all the things that Trump and his running mate Mike Pence disagreed on.
First of all, they don't disagree on all those issues, but I'll talk about it.
To a degree, they do.
No, well, not to the degree that any other two people don't disagree on things. I mean, first of all, I remember when Ronald Reagan picked George Bush and voodoo economics, everyone said that wasn't going to work, and that relationship ended up with two presidents. So I don't think that's a matter. But more fundamentally, as far as Governor Pence and Donald Trump are concerned, on a number of the issues, it's margins. It's not disagreement on the issues. It's disagreement on
Donald
pieces.
Trump says he was against the war in Iraq from the very beginning. Governor Pence voted for that war.
And they both agree that the real problem with the war was when Obama became president and Obama and Clinton withdrew our troops without any plan for Iraq, which allowed for ISIS to grow. That's the fundamental problem in Iraq and the Middle East right now. That's the problem that's destabilizing everything, and that is directly attributable to Clinton's years as Secretary of State and Obama's presidency. They totally agree on that.
Can we talk about the process itself? A lot of people watch the process of picking a vice president because, let's face it, it is the first presidential level decision-making process, and there are multiple reports that Donald Trump wavered until the very last minute, hoping to change his mind, hoping to have a chance to pick someone else.
That's because nobody wants to believe Donald Trump when Donald Trump does something. I was the one he was talking to. I know what was going on. He picked Governor Pence out of a process because he thought Governor Pence's record as governor was the kind of record that he needed in Washington.
Can I just jump in here, though? Because Pence says he got the call from Trump to be his VP Wednesday night.
Correct.
On Thursday night, Donald Trump took it upon himself to call into TV shows, cable shows, and said, I haven't made a final decision. And he was also reportedly calling the other contenders saying, I haven't made a decision.
Donald Trump called saying that because he hadn't announced his final decision yet. The only thing
is that untruthful? I mean, that wasn't a true statement?
The only thing that was going on Thursday night was he was so upset by what had happened in Nice and the carnage that he saw on TV that he called me and said, we cannot announce our vice president tomorrow. This is just not appropriate.
But he did, in fact, end up announcing him at 11 a.m. via Twitter.
Well, but I'm talking about the event where we were going to be doing a formal event announcing him. And so the only conversations that were going on were between he and I, in between an event he was doing in California and getting on a plane and fly back, and that the conversations totally focused on how do we move from Friday to Saturday. That's it.
Big victory for this campaign over the last couple of days. The Rules Committee basically shut down this whole vote your conscience movement so that these delegates cannot abandon Trump on the floor of the convention. Doesn't mean they can't make a lot of noise out in the streets of Cleveland. So you've got that in the optics. You also have some very key Republicans who are simply not going to show up, most notably the sitting Republican host governor of Ohio, John Kasich. How do you deal with those optics coming out of Cleveland?
Well, first of all, you identified it correctly. There are very few delegates in the convention who are part of the Never Trump movement. It's very small, and they were elected for other candidates, and they're just not, their passion hasn't left them yet. Most of the delegates in the hall are going to be for Donald Trump, and you're going to see that. The people who are outside the hall, those are paid people for the most part. This is not spontaneous volunteers coming here to hang out in Cleveland. Many of them are being paid things, and they're here to make mischief. That's going to be true at the Democratic convention too. I'd be surprised if it has any impact at all. As far as people not at the convention, there are more people are at the convention. There were 16 candidates running. Most of them are going to have a presence at this convention, including all of the finalists, except for Kasich, who frankly was invited to participate. I can't answer for what makes no sense. He's embarrassing the state, frankly. But the party is going to be unified. We're going to come out of the convention as a strong team. The selection of Mike Pence has brought the party even closer and faster together. We're coming into the convention even in the polls, and I believe we're going to come out of the convention ahead of the polls.
Paul Manafort, it's good to have you here with us in Cleveland. Good luck this week. Thank you. Take care.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.